Hello, everyone. Hope you had a good break. We're up next with Dact and his Spyro 1, any percent. Dact,
Hello.
whenever you're ready.
Yeah, definitely. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm just waiting for
right
the
after
screen to
Dact.
sick.
Yep, right after Dact, we're gonna have Spyro Free 117% and some Spyro in Orange after that. But I hope you all stick around. Dact, good luck with your run, and
thank you. Yeah, I'll count you down. Just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Go. Yep, good luck.
Thank you. All right, so yeah, I did 120% earlier today. Well, for me it was this morning. For most of you, it was probably yesterday. Did the 120% race with Hummel, but this is going to be any percent, much shorter run, about half the length or something like that. I just realized I opened my timer and forgot to start it, so that's fine. I'll just use the one on the stream. So yeah, in the 120 race earlier, we didn't really go into the actual tech in the game or like how the game works or anything about the run. So I'll try and do that a little bit this time. So any percent goes pretty. The way it works is a little bit different to 120. Each world has a specific kind of collectible requirement in order to beat it. The balloonist at the end of the world will let you proceed to the next one when you have a certain amount of collectibles. It is different for each world. So in total, in order to get to Nasty's world at the end, I need 50 dragons, 6,000 gems, and 5 eggs. The actual requirements are a little bit staggered. Like I need 10 dragons to leave this world, and then 1,200 gems. But yeah, we're basically working towards those big goals at the end. And so we start off in Artisans, basically just collecting 11 dragons. Great. First unintended jump, and I failed. Yeah, the gems in Artisans here are not very good. The levels get more tightly packed with gems the further in we get. But in the early game here, we kind of just get the ones that are very much in our way as we go from dragon to dragon. But levels are very short, and we actually skip most of Artisans. We do 2 levels, and that's it. As far as the movement's concerned, I mean, this is the first Spyro game, and so the mechanics are pretty basic. You don't have a lot of the abilities you get in the later games, so it's a lot of hold square to go fast, try to be on the ground as much as you can, charging. One thing that's different between this game and the later PS1 games is that like charge jumping and charging on the ground are the same speed, and so you don't need to... I just said try and be on the ground as much as you can, but that's not strictly true. You just don't want to be gliding. Gliding's really slow. That was a flame charge. You'll see a lot of those when you charge through certain like chests and enemies and things like that. The gem will home in on you, but when you flame them, it doesn't. It just kind of pops out, and you have to catch it off the air or pick it up off the ground. But if you are close enough to the object and you do your inputs quickly enough, you can flame it and then immediately charge, and the gem will home in as if you charged through it. And this obviously lets you cut corners a bit more tightly because you don't actually have to make contact with things. Here's a nice skip. Can just kind of wall glide along that mountain there and then jump over the scenery to get to Argus more quickly rather than going all the way around. Wall gliding is pretty powerful in this game. You glide along walls and you can maintain height. You can maintain quite a lot of height, and sometimes you can gain height. And that's what we use to make it to some of the standable scenery that's really far away from the portal there. But yeah, that's Artisans finished. Should have been probably like 4 minutes or something, a bit less. The The next world, Peacekeepers, we actually do all the levels, and we'll be doing that for most of the rest of the run. The gem counts get a lot better, like the kind of concentration of gems per level gets a lot better from here on. So the next two levels both have some pretty big kind of hard tricks in them that I would like to get, but I'm not guaranteed to get. There's a jump at the end of this level, and then there is a cool trick at the start of Cliff Town as well. So hopefully I can get both of those. So as you can see, I'm just kind of trying to cut corners as tight as possible when going through enemies like that. A lot of the time when you charge through enemies in this game, they kind of push you a little bit, like there's a bit of resistance when you charge through them. And so, nice. A lot of the time you can mitigate that by either cutting the corner very tightly so you only just make contact with them, or by charge jumping right as you hit them. That guy just dies. I hit him with the that guy in the distance just kind of dies. I hit him with a fan chest at the start of the level, but he doesn't die until late. Nice. Okay, that was the hard jump I was referring to. Very glad I got that. Something you might notice every time I glide out of a jump, you might hear me make like kind of loud noise with my controller. That's a charge glide. You basically hit square and then X very quickly, and you glide faster and further. You do like a tiny bit of a charge before you start gliding. And when you charge out of a jump like that, you gain a little bit of height and you go straight to max speed. And so by doing that very brief charge before gliding, you make everything quicker and you can go further. It just makes jumps either easier or possible in the first place. Okay, let's try and get this. Just not high enough. I'm not going to go for it again, but you see what I was going for there. Can proxy up onto that roof with the squeeze proxy and take a faster route through this level. But I got a proxy, it just wasn't quite high enough. But that's fine, there's another route that is only a little bit slower. Do some unintended jumps on these roofs here, and that flaming the rocket from underneath is, I don't believe, intended either. As far as the routing goes for this category, it's very, very, very flexible because you only need a bit over half of the gems that you actually have available up until a certain point in the game. You can route around getting exactly what you need, and if you miss stuff, you often don't have to turn around for it, which is great. I love that about this category. Turning around for things is always slow, and like missing gems in 120, for instance, is always extremely frustrating. So the fact that you can just kind of keep going when you miss stuff in this category is really nice. Sometimes you don't want to, like if you miss a 10 or a 25 gem, you usually want to turn around for it, but there's a lot of flexibility to make up missed gems later on. Are the originals better to speedrun than Reignited? I'm not qualified to answer that. I've never tried to run Reignited. I've played it, but I haven't tried to go fast in it. But I mean, they're just very, very different. The physics are very different. The movement tech and the glitches are very different. So this is the first flight level I'm doing in the run. I skipped the one in the first world, but I'll be doing all the rest of them. These don't have any dragons in them, but they are very good in terms of gems per time. You get 300 gems, and they're not very, they're pretty quick. So they're all very worth it, except for that one in the first world. Thank you, Jeremy. So in flight levels, you want to fly as low to the ground as you can. You go faster when you're lower, and then just kind of pop up in order to hit things that you need to hit. And then straight back down again. And we take a kind of tough route through here. Nice. Oh, damn. Missed that. You need to like pass through the middle of the arches in order to get them. And I just missed it. Tuba had no idea you could destroy it. Yeah, that's the intended way to get to Night Flight. You're probably familiar with the wall glide that you do in 120, but that's not faster in this category. So I think that was my first egg thief that I got. We need 5 of those in the run. Most of them I'll be getting in the next homeworld, and there are a lot of them there. But we just get that one in the homeworld here because it's very quick. This is the first boss level I'm entering, but I won't be fighting the boss. It has some good gems at the start, and a dragon, but then we kind of just end the level after that. Importantly, in this game, there's no requirement to actually go to all the levels or beat any of the levels. Like, it's not like you need to beat the bosses to progress or anything like that. You just go to whatever levels you want, and as long as you collect enough stuff for the balloonist, you're fine. So I just leave after getting the dragon. Actually fighting Shemp, it's an option. He gives you a fair few gems at the end, but the fight itself is very slow, so don't do that. I believe the old TAS that was made in like 2011 actually did that fight. But it also did Sunny Flight and a bunch of other things that we don't do in the route anymore. Ice Cavern's a cool level. It's got 5 dragons, which is a lot. Like, I think that's the most dragons we get in any level. In 120, we do a kind of backwards route here, where we do a bunch of the level backwards, but in any percent we don't do that. We take basically the intended path through. Just getting the high value gems along the way. Yeah, there might be another one. I just can't think of what it is right now. And if it's in Dreamweavers, then we won't do it anyway because we stop needing dragons after Peacemakers, so they're kind of not useful. Hug the wall here and it manipulates this snowshoe guy to go to the right and we can get him. If you go slightly further away from the wall, he goes the other way and you can't get him as easily. Dark Passage, yeah, that sounds right. I won't be going there in this run. You might notice with some of the dragons, most dragons I'm just kind of getting them from the direction that I arrive at them at, but some of them I'm not. I'm kind of going around the other side of them before I collect them. Each dragon has a little cutscene that plays, and Spyro walks into position for that cutscene before it starts. And Spyro's walking speed during that cutscene is pretty slow, and so it's quicker for us to get as close as possible to that position before touching the dragon. And so sometimes it looks like some of my dragon pickups are suboptimal, but in fact they're not. It's a very small time save per dragon, but when you're collecting 50 of them or 80 in a 120 run, it adds up. If you don't jump here, this guy doesn't raise his thing quickly enough and you can kill him. But if you jump anywhere nearby, he will raise it before you can get to him. Which is a problem for a lot of people who always jump after doing a fan chest flame charge. You need to learn to not do that. So yeah, Magic Crafters, the levels start getting a bit longer and a bit tougher here. Like, there are a couple of hard tricks in Peacekeepers, but the levels themselves were usually not too difficult. Bit slow on that flame. We're going to skip this entire left path here. It's just not worth it. You can skip this wall with a nice little charge guide there. That was not great. You can also skip that cycle, but I kind of got to him at the time when he was about to lower it anyway, so I just waited. Corpses tend to stick around for quite a long time in this game after you kill the enemy, and sometimes they get in your way. Especially with these big enemies, it's hard to tell exactly where the hitbox ends. And then there is a nice little hole in the wall here that we can get through to get this thief. You should try that at home, it's really easy. And you might notice when I kill thieves, I usually kind of flame them and then charge. I'll try and do one here, actually. I'll try and get this guy. Yeah, okay. So normally when you kill a thief, it plays this little animation where the egg homes in. And you can skip that by pressing X. But if you are in the air during that animation, it just doesn't play at all. And so you can, if you jump at the right time, you hit the flame while you're jumping, and the animation is just completely skipped. Also, I have 6 thieves rooted in, but I only need 5. And so that one in the homeworld there... Oh, damn, I could have made that. That one in the homeworld, I intentionally go pretty risky with hitting him with like the tip of my flame to try and get the animation skip. Because if I do miss him, which is pretty easy to do, I can just get an extra one in Wizard Peak, and it's no big deal. But because I got him, I'll be able to skip that second one in Wizard Peak. And then this is the first supercharge coming up. I will try and do a long unintended supercharge trick here. Hopefully I can get at least most of it. Nice. Nice. That was really good. I'm very glad I got that. That's not the easiest thing in the world. You could probably tell how unintended that was, doing a bunch of jumps off scenery and killing all of the spiders with the... are they spiders? Whatever, the metal bugs with the supercharge. You're supposed to need to go through there in like 2 trips, one with the supercharge, one with the fairy kiss, and yeah, that was really cool. We call that bike caves for reasons that I don't remember. Thank you. There's going to be another supercharge thing in this level. This one looks really cool as well, but it's actually very, very easy. So I tend to get less excited about it. I missed that one. So yeah, another long supercharge here. Get the thief around here, and then we want a death abuse because it's quicker than gliding all the way back. The dragon statues act as checkpoints, and so when you die, you just get taken back to the last dragon you got. Got a corner slightly too tight there, Mr. 5 gem, but as I said before, it's no big deal. And because I've got 5, my backup thief would be that one right there, but because I already have 5, I can just skip it. Nice. Getting all 3 of those in one flame is pretty hard as well. Shout out to Lucas. Ugh, these little green guys have the worst hitboxes. They do not match up with their models at all. So a cool little thing here. You go through that portal from the back. There's a dragon right in front of the Crystal Flight portal. And it's close enough to where if you charge through the portal like that, you can actually touch the dragon during the little period after going through the portal, but before the level starts deloading. Because the level you're in doesn't unload until the camera goes through the portal. And so by getting the camera stuck on the other side, you can make Spyro go pretty far through the portal before the level deloads. And he touches the dragon counts as collected, but I didn't have to watch any cutscene or anything. And so when I leave this level, you'll see that dragon out the front is gone. It'll just be the little thing on the floor. And so that saves 7 seconds of watching him wait for the statue to break. Also, at the end of flight levels, you want to make sure that you hit something right at the end. Like you saw, I kind of went straight into the arch there. Say the dragons disappeared. Yeah, when you finish a flight, when you get the last thing, Spyro does this big loop-the-loop animation that takes ages. But if he hits something during that animation, it just ends instantly and you can leave. And so by flying right into a wall or an object or something, or the floor, right as you get the last object, you can just skip that whole animation. This is Blowhard. This is the first boss that we're actually going to kill. This level is very quick and has lots of gems, and so we're going to get basically everything in this level. The route is almost the same as in 120. I'd like to catch a platform cycle down here, but I was a bit slow. I think that was actually 2 cycles behind. I could have made an earlier cycle than I did, but I just waddled out of it. Yeah, exactly, Phoenix. You skip one thing at the end, and then you kind of go a bit quicker with the thing right before the in one of the blue caves. Make sure you damage boost onto the land there and not right off the edge. And then yeah, there's one more chest up next to the vortex, but that's only got a 2 in it, so it's not worth climbing those steps. So that's it with Magic Crafters. I have 5 gems, so I can leave. I also have 5 eggs, rather. I also have really good gems. My gem count is pretty solid, so I'm happy with how this run's going. I have definitely done that in runs. Yes, I have lost runs to just going straight off the edge with that damage boost. Ugh. Am I going to make this cycle? No, I'm not. Epic. I want to get this. Okay, so first level in this home world, Terrace Village, I'm actually gonna skip completely. It's just not worth it. Like, there is an alternate route that does do it. It's like Saboom's known for doing that. But as far as we know, that route is slower, and it cuts out some of the harder tricks. So for consistency, it's probably a nice route to do, but I'm just well practiced with this one. So yeah, no Terrace Village. Hello, Becky. So yeah, another flight. Wild Flight has a really tough route that I'm going to go for. I need to have good movement at the start so that I can make some flame cycles. If I don't get it, it's no big deal. Like, I just kind of clean it up, but it'll be nice. Should be good for it though. It looks really weird, like intentionally hitting a wall to turn around and then landing on the ground. It's very strange looking for a flight level route, but I actually nailed it, so that was pretty good. Misty Bog, long level, tough. I kind of choked the 120 race earlier to this level, so need to get some payback. There's a grand total of 2 fodder in this whole level. One right at the start there and one at the end. And lots of things that can easily damage you. Oh. I'll be coming back through there, so I might be able to pick up some more of those 5 gems, but maybe not. My gem count's pretty good, so might not be necessary. That emote with the tree is great. Or the bush, whatever it is. Okay. Those boars are pretty scary. They come at you faster than it looks. And then the frogs can hit you from very far away. They are a lot less dangerous if you can flame charge well, because if you kind of go straight at them and flame charge them, you can hit them before they can hit you. But if you don't, and you either like get a bad angle, or you like hesitate, or you don't flame charge and try and actually charge into them, they can hit you before you have a chance to kill them. Ah, it's too far away. I'm just going to skip that. Dragon-eating plants. That sounds about right. That's what they do. Alright, so this section coming up, we affectionately refer to as Guantanamo Bay. It's full of very dangerous enemies. I missed that frog, but I'm just going to skip him because I don't want to die. Other than getting hit a couple times, like the actual gem collection was pretty quick. And I already got the boar from outside before the level, so being sparkless is no big deal. I can just get this. Oh, maybe. So treetops, the start of this level is really important. There's a thief that starts running right as we get going here, and I want to overtake him and stay ahead of him. Hesitate a little bit there so I don't bonk on him, and then overtake him here. Because I want to get to the dragon before he does, essentially. Because if you do, which I did, if you get there quickly enough, the thief just like teleports to the end of his path. If you're too slow though, he doesn't do that, and you have to wait for him to come around. So you see he's already there on this island. If I'd gone a little bit slower, I would have had to clear up this island and then wait for the thief to land here. It's just a couple seconds, but it's something I want to avoid. He has a 25 gem, so you definitely want to wait for him. So it's just time loss if you don't get the teleport. Also, the jump to that island was unintended as well. You're supposed to take this big long supercharge path, but if you jump at with the right timing, you can make a much bigger jump than you're supposed to off those supercharge ramps. No, you can't. He's invincible until he gets to the island at the end. That purple thief that I like sniped, he's vulnerable until he starts moving, and then he's invulnerable. So if you like miss the snipe and he starts moving, you can't hit him again until the end where you like meet back up with him here. Nice, okay. That's stone not skip, just unintended use of the beanery to get up here and break some fan chests with the supercharge. Saves a lot of time and gets you a lot of gems. So we're going to get our last couple of dragons here to make up 50, and also kill metalheads and pick up a bunch of gems. This level's pretty good on gems, so we get most of them. And that's dragon number 50. We will get one more later, just because he's required to like progress. But in terms of the like a specific dragon is required. But in terms of our dragon count to get to the final home world, or the second to last home world rather, that's our full 50. So we're just gonna get through the rest of this level, beat Metalhead, and head off to Dreamweavers. So these little pylon things around Metalhead, they're on a cycle. For the second phase, it's pretty straightforward. The cycle just starts as soon... I think the cycle just starts like as soon as he gets here. Like as soon as you finish the first phase, the cycle starts. But the first phase cycle is a bit more complicated. It starts like at a certain point in the level. But as long... What do I do? As long as your movement is reasonably consistent, you should be able to catch the same cycle every time. 5 gem was hidden right in the corner. Oh my god. Let's try that again. So I want that key because the key chest in this home world gives you lots of gems. And then because we have 50 dragons, Cry lets us go on to Dreamweavers. And now for the end of Dreamweavers, all you need is 6,000 total gems. And so we don't need any more dragons. We're only going to do 2 levels in this home world. We're going to do the flight, Icy Flight, and Jacques, which is the boss level. Jacques is going to be where I kind of get exactly as many gems as I need to get up to 6,000. Cute little skip here. Damage boost over these guys. You can get over there without a damage boost, you just kind of jump over them, but it's a bit more risky. You have to jump earlier, and if you jump too early, you just don't make it over them at all. So I'm going to do some maths to work out how many gems that I actually need. So I'll be quiet for a second. Oh damn, I actually have really, really good gems. I don't need to, I can actually skip some that I would normally get. That's not so good though. Oh, is my my commentary like ahead of the gameplay? That's kind of a shame. So yeah, I need like to get up to 3,000. You get 175 just from the boss, and so I definitely don't need to get too much in this level here. Skip this dragon, because who needs it? People have definitely got that dragon by accident before, including in world records years ago, but very much unnecessary. So yeah, a little bit over, because like I had extra, like I essentially got like the minimum I would ever get, and I was still over. So I played it a bit safe during that run because marathon, and it resulted in me being overgemmed a bit. But yeah, now we're in Nasty's world. We have no more collectible requirements. We just need to beat the levels. We have to get Delbin because the dragon head, like the orange one in front of us, won't open until we have both collected Delbin and been through the vortex in North Cove here. So I'm gonna do a thing here. I'm actually gonna get this this guy just in case. That guy will just like boost you upwards, and then you can just glide across to the vortex, skip the whole level. You just jump on that guy and hold X as he lifts his barrel, and you just get thrown up in the air. It's amazing. And then I'm gonna go for this like 10 times, I guess. Two. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on, give me some jumps. 9, 10. 2 more. 11, 12. No. Alright, it's about 7 seconds per attempt, so I don't want to lose too much time and put us even more behind schedule. But yeah, you can skip into Nasty Nork without doing Twilight Harbor. It's really good, but ridiculously hard. No one is completely consistent at it. I definitely am not. So, well, nice, I missed the vortex. The whirlwind. So instead, I'm gonna do Twilight Harbor. You get to see some cool stuff in this level as well, though. There's this little skip here, and then something that I can't explain. You can just get supercharged like that. Makes no sense, but it is a thing. Yeah, dude, this game's hardcore. They changed them to like paintball guns in Reignited. Okay, but yeah, now we're in Nasty Nork. We would have skipped Twilight Harbor, but it's okay. We can kill these key thieves like instantly. We don't need to chase them around. And then Nasty Nork, you want to be kind of wary about how you do this chase. You want to, like this first bit, you just want to get here as quickly as possible. But then you want to let him get in front of you and kind of stay close, but not, like you don't want to get really far ahead of him. Because he actually slows down if you get too far ahead. It's better to be like behind him like this, rather than get to the end of the path as soon as you possibly can. And then, yeah, get ready on time. It's time when I flame him this second time at the end here. And time. Cool. So that's Spyro on 90%. More people should run it. It's not that active. Everyone hates it at the top level because you have to do Twilight Harbor skip, and doing attempts with it really is not fun. But until you get like a 40, there's no need to go for it, and it's really fun if you don't do that.
I've still got some treasure to pick up. What will you do next? I'd say the sky's the limit.
It's a really nice category just based on how it's a lot more forgiving than 120%, and a lot more flexible with being able to miss stuff. Overestimate? No, it's only because I went for TH skip so many. I didn't have my timer up, so that was actually a good guess of how many attempts I could go for TH skip. If I'd done one fewer attempt, I'd have been like a second underestimate. But yeah, thank you everyone. I think 117 is next, which I will definitely be watching. Comfy stream to go to bed to. have to cut Spyro 2 now since I'm not the only person that's been overestimating this marathon. I'm sorry. You can't blame me.